we are here with Brandon. I'm Alex from Living Arizona, and I'm excited for you guys to hear this conversation because Brandon is a new up-and-coming agent, and we're going to share all the things that he is doing to quickly become one of the top agents in all of Arizona, and we're going to hear his story. So welcome. Thanks for being here.
Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
For sure. First of all, question is, I don't know the answer to this because I've never actually asked you until now. What got you into real estate? Like, how did you even get here into this career?
Interesting. Started way back when I was in college. In my free time, I would find myself going to open houses, and I was just always intrigued by real estate. And I knew that there was something there, but I didn't know what it was. I was majoring in music, and I was like, nothing else to do. Didn't want to spend a whole lot of money going out doing stuff because obviously broke college student. So that's what I oftentimes found myself doing, was stopping by open houses. Fast forward a little bit, didn't do anything with my degree, ended up joining the military, which opened a whole door of opportunities as far as VA, zero down payment. And that's when I bought my first house, turned it into a rental property, and then from there bought another one, which essentially ended up being almost a flip. And then after my military career, transitioned into Amazon.
Okay.
And with there, I was in supply chain, which is where I learned a lot of negotiations. But in both of those fields, people were always asking me how I got started in real estate, just on the investing side. And people kept asking me, why don't you have your license? Why don't you have your license? And then I started calculating how much money my realtor was making just off of my referrals. So I was like, that's kind of a no-brainer. So one thing led to another. I ended up trying to get licensed. Got licensed actually just about, I want to say back in March of this year. And then
recently.
Left Amazon full-time in May. And here we are.
That's awesome. You know, that explains a lot why you've had a good start. I mean, the average real estate agent, not only do they not sell a home for the first 6 months, they don't own any real estate. So that makes me feel like I have a better understanding of why you are succeeding quickly at a better level, because you probably believe in the power of actually owning
100%.
home, right?
And actually, I was just working with a client this past week, so the week of Thanksgiving, right? And one of the things he looked at me and he said, we were talking about benefits, simple, right? Benefits of a soft water. And I told him, I was like, well, what happens is I kind of went in and explained how the hard water affects different aspects of the home, things like that. And he looked right at me. He's like, see, that's why I like you. He's like, you actually know what you're talking about when it comes to remodeling a home, how the hard water damages it and stuff like that. And that happens several times throughout the interaction with him. So it definitely adds a lot for sure.
Yeah, I could see that being a huge value add, and I could see your experience with Amazon, and then you being, multiple property owner, helping you be a better negotiator.
Absolutely.
Because you can advocate for your clients, because I think when somebody doesn't own real estate, maybe they're a newer agent, they've been working for a year or two, and they still haven't, actually taken the time to buy.
Yes.
They're not going to have the same conviction when they're trying to help their client make a decision. Sometimes real estate agents have a hard time living in the black or white. They live in the gray area. They're like, well, maybe you can take this offer, maybe not, you can accept it if you like the house. You're like, no, this is the house, this is the one for you, this is a good decision. Trust me, I trust you, let's go. You're going to thank me in 3 years because I just helped you build your net worth.
100%. Right? And that's huge, right? Because then people, especially if they're a first-time home buyer, it's new. They're a little insecure about maybe the decisions that they're making, but then they can feed off of the confidence that I have. So I think it really helps kind of put them at ease when it's kind of a scary situation for them.
When it comes to stats, homes sold, the average realtor takes about 6 months to sell one home, like their first home.
Yes.
Right now, the average realtor who's been in production, who's been in their career for a little while, is selling maybe 4 to 5 homes a year annually. Yes. You've been in the business 6 months, 7 months?
Yes.
I don't know.
Six well,
months?
Actually, 5 really. If we're in December and I started, May 31st was when I quit Amazon. So about 5 months.
So 5 months, how many homes have you sold?
I have sold 1, 2, 3. I have closed 3, and I have another 3 under contract right now.
Amazing. So you'll have 6 closed in your first
6 months.
6 months. That's outstanding. And you know what we as team leaders and veteran agents look for when we're qualifying somebody as a producing agent, like somebody that we would want to attract to a team, it's 6+ homes a year. So you're already at the level of like a producing agent. To be the top agent in your field, you crank that up to 12, 15, you're already in the top 1%, which is awesome. So I'd like to know what's making you different, because a lot of agents they bounce from team to team, brokerage to brokerage, shiny penny to shiny penny. They come, they go, they just keep fumbling around. and they never really sell that many homes. I see it all the time. You know, like they pop one here and there, but they don't really seem to get into a stride. And then some agents come in quick and they seem like they just go sell homes.
So I think there's a couple of things to that. One, I think it is a little bit of my backstory, right? I've already purchased, I've already gone through flips, I've already done remodels, and people definitely feed off of that. But a second thing is also one of the things that I hear from my clients is you're just so real. You're so down to earth. And the real estate process can be so transactional, and in my mind, it shouldn't be. I'm currently helping a client right now who is not a first-time home buyer, but they're just getting married. And
Okay,
I think
awesome.
I think it should be super personal and it should be a fun experience. And this is actually the text that I got from her. I think I feel happy tears coming on. And then going down just a little bit more, this is the best home buying experience ever. You two are amazing, referring to
So
me
awesome.
and the lender that we're working with. And for me, that's what it should be, right? A real estate transaction, like I said, it's already so transactional, it should be personal. It should be a time where we can go and grab coffee or we can go and grab lunch and then look at a few homes. And this family in particular, it's their first home that they're purchasing together. And they actually were a referral to me that started with them reaching out, asking me how they can get out of their contract with their current realtor because their experience was so bad.
Yep.
So for me, that's one of the things that I really tapped into is that real side of me, that down to earth side that I'm already hearing from my clients that it's setting me apart from other people.
That's awesome. I love that. I think that's a great segment to take us where we want to go next, which is typically ask, you know, what makes you different, and then what's your favorite part about real estate, you know? So, well, we kind of start about what makes you different. You got your experience.
Yeah.
You've bought homes before. You seem to have a good understanding of construction. You're personable. So I think we covered that pretty well. What's your favorite part about real estate?
I think my favorite part about real estate is honestly, it's those types of texts. It's being involved in people's lives and such a huge, my very first client actually, first time home buyer, and he messaged me, he was kind of in a situation that he needed to get out of and he had never purchased, he was super scared. And I sat down with him and I shared my experience the first time I bought and some things that I was feeling. I was like, oh, I don't know, like renting, there's just not as much stress with renting. And after I sat down and I went over it with him, I'm like, look, you're paying the same bills. You own this now. And in 5 to 7 years, when you have some equity built up, it gives you leverage to move on to the next step, to upgrade or turn this into a rental property and get a second property. To see those lights click and then to see them come back to me after 2 or 3 months and they're like, you were so right, thank you so much. It's that fulfilling side of it for me. That old phrase of you don't know what you don't know, helping people see what they don't know.
That's awesome.
I think is huge for me.
That answers why you're going to be successful, because I was curious what your answer was going to be, because a lot of times people say they want to get into real estate because like, oh, I love houses. I love going to open houses, which is cool. But if you just love the properties, right? That's how it started, but that's not what's making you successful now.
Exactly.
It's actually, you have to have a love for people and you have to have empathy. Your favorite part of real estate, it sounds like what we're getting to is the experiences, the relationships with the people, those text messages.
Yeah.
That's more than looking at pretty houses. And there's two different kinds of agents. One is going to tell you the story of, yeah, I got into real estate, or I want to get into real estate because I love HGTV. I love all these pretty homes. I want to be my own boss. I want to run my own business. The other one's like, I love the side of real estate. I really want to help people achieve financial freedom, buy a home. And I love relationships and people. This agent's going to crush that one all day. And that's 100%. Why I think you're winning, right? My favorite part of real estate is not all the beautiful homes. I see them all the time, but it's kind of like we see so many. They're cool, don't get me wrong, but it's those texts. It makes all the difficult parts of real estate, the crazy agents and the nut job people that we deal with, all of that is worth it when you get that text where it's like, oh my gosh, this was an amazing experience. Thank you so much, you helped me. Like, that is worth so much more than being able to say, oh, I walked in and looked at this $1 million home. And
then to jump on right on the back of that, actually, I just went to coffee with a previous client that I was helping them sell their house. So they were in a very tight situation with a buy-sell situation, and we needed to sell it in a specific amount of time. So this home was on the market for 8 days. Their net sale price was over our original asking price, just through negotiations and planning of how conversations went with the buyer's agent. And she looked at me, she's like, Brandon, she's like, I don't know what we would have done without you. And it's funny because I just told her when I was meeting at coffee, I was like, you guys were only my second agent. She's like, what? Or I'm sorry, my second client. She's like, what? She's like, I would have never guessed. She's like, how you handled everything, how smooth it was, the negotiations, how you were able to get us over asking what more than we thought that we were going to be able to get. She's like, you blew me away.
That's awesome. Well, I'm super proud of you. You're a big part of our group here, and you're off to a great start. Where do you see yourself going in the next couple of years in your real estate career?
It's a good question. So I'm still working to grow my investment side. I definitely want to keep growing that, right? Because I think it adds so much value to the clients that I have. And yeah, I'm just going to keep on focusing on those clients where I can build a relationship with. I'm not looking to work with people that are like, hey, perfect, I need a realtor. Okay, I never talk to you again. I want to foster those relationships where it's, yeah, you do become a friend. We do go out and, have a happy hour together or have dinner together. That's really where my focus is to make it that relational based interactions.
Awesome. I'm excited to see where you go. I think next year you're going to break that 10 to 12 home barrier for sure. I think you'll be up in the top 1% in no time. Okay, so a couple more questions. What do you think is the most important trait or characteristic of a good real estate agent?
I think you already hit on it. I think it's empathy. In the short time that I've been in real estate, I've already seen how it can you almost get in like this rhythm and you're just answering emails and text messages and making sure this inspection is done on time and this is handled and things like that. But it's really taking a step back and putting yourself back where your client is. Like, what is the stress that they're feeling if this home doesn't sell? What is the stress that they're feeling if they can't get this home under contract before their wedding? For me, that's, I think, the one thing that has really helped make me almost human or personable to my clients is being able to really get in touch with what they're feeling at that time.
Yeah, I love that. Amazing answer. Okay, next one. Is real estate a passion or is it your purpose, this career?
Ooh,
Tricky one, I know.
that's a really good question. Is it a passion or is it a purpose? I would say it's a passion. Purpose to me, okay, it can be interchangeable, but a passion is a little bit deeper. I think a passion is where you're going to get some of that empathy towards your clients and things like that. Yeah. So I would definitely lean a little bit more towards a passion.
Okay, I love it. I think it's a great answer. Last one. So your experience, bought a couple houses, now you're in a good groove, you've had jobs before, you've got a good head on your shoulders. Why would an agent like you, why not just go fly solo and be a lone wolf out there? Why join like a group or a team of people to work with, Yeah. It's a valid question.
So it's interesting that you asked that question because when I left Amazon, I was very comfortable job, right? Benefits, lots of travel in that role. But as an agent, I can work independently, right? I work when I want, don't work when I want, but that's going to reflect in how I work, right? So for me, being with a team, even though we might not be in the office all the time, we still have our team meetings. We have our Friday calls, right? They're just checkpoints to make sure that we're where we need to be. And that's super valuable to me because one of the things that I quickly realized is that I like that type of interaction because it just holds me accountable to make sure that I'm stepping up to be the best version of myself, which then allows me to be the best that I can be for my clients.
That's awesome. I kind of think of it as bowling with bumpers. So you don't throw gutter balls.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like, okay, you kind of know how to bowl, but sometimes you need those bumpers up there to keep you on track, going down the same track.
Great analogy, because
That's the way I think of it.
used to throw a lot of gutter balls. So
a lot of independent agents out there who think they know it all, or they have talent, but they do succeed for a few months, and then they do throw some gutter balls because and then they end up feeling alone, a little bit lost.
right.
So
And then that messes up your whole routine, your whole rhythm, and that can cost you the game in the end of it.
yeah. Well, this was super fun. I got to learn some new things about you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in. And if you're looking for an amazing up-and-coming agent anywhere in Phoenix, Arizona, highly encourage you to give Brandon a follow. Reach out to him for your next home purchase, your home sale. As you can see, you will get a professional, experienced, trustworthy agent who really actually cares about you. So check him out, give him a follow. And as always, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.